At 10:01, I call the January 15th, 2026 South Carolina Department of Transportation Commission meeting to order. Please remember to silence your cell phones if you haven't done so already. At this time, I have a roll call. TJ Johnson here. Bill Dukes.
Here.
Pamela Christopher.
Here.
Mike Metcalf.
Here.
Curtis Spencer.
Here.
Sal Hemingway.
Here.
Brett Blackwell.
Present.
Thomas Rhodes.
Here.
Quorum is declared. Is there a motion to approve the January 15th, 26 meeting agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Hearing no opposition, the agenda is approved. If you would join me as Vice Chair Dukes, join me standing as Vice Chair Dukes, give us the prayer followed by the Pledge of Allegiance with Commissioner Hemingway.
Thank you. Lord Jesus, we thank you for the opportunity you've given each of us to serve the people of our great state. We thank you for the great team of men and women in this agency that lead and perform the necessary task of keeping our roadways safe for all those that travel our state. Lord Jesus, we thank you for all the saving grace we have through Jesus Christ. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll move to item 6.1, approval of the minutes. Does anyone have any questions about or revisions to the minutes of December 4th, 2025 commission meeting? Is there a motion to approve the minutes of December 4th, 2025?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. Hearing no opposition, the minutes of December 4th, 2025 are approved. We'll now have a report out from the December 4th, 2025 Audit Committee.
Good morning. The Audit Committee met December 4th, 2025. Services staff presented updates on environmental services, IS balance scorecards, global audit standards discussion, internal audit authorization, charter discussion, engagement updates, and follow-up on management action plans. Additionally, there was an executive session to receive management information on security plans. No committee actions were taken.
Thank you, Commissioner Spencer. Does anyone have any questions about or amendments to the December 4th, 2025 Audit Committee meeting? Is there a motion to approve the December 4th, 2025 Audit Committee minutes and actions?
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Hearing no opposition, the minutes of the December 4th, 2025 Audit Committee minutes are approved. Mr. Secretary, do you have any public comments?
Yes, sir. We have one individual signed up for public comment, Mr. Kyle Taylor, in regards to Charleston Highways.
Good morning. We'll ask you to speak into the microphone and remember that your time is limited to 3 minutes. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, everyone on the commission. My name is Kyle Taylor, and I am from Charleston. I'm a Charleston native, born and raised. One of the few, actually. Everyone's so surprised when I tell them that I'm born and raised in Charleston. It's like they're seeing a celebrity or seeing a ghost. And I'm just wondering where everybody else went. But in any case, I'm a civil engineer and wanted to deliver a few brief remarks on Charleston transportation and highways from my perspective, especially being a local, born and raised, working and living in Charleston. So thank you very much. Please accept this letter and written verbal comment for the Commission's consideration regarding Charleston traffic and interstate capacity needs within the state highway system. Charleston's significance for freight and state and federal commerce. The Charleston region serves a very critical role in South Carolina's transportation and economic network. It supports advanced manufacturing, defense installations, world-class tourism, which I think we all enjoy, and a growing residential population. Most notably, it contains the Port of Charleston, with multiple terminal facilities throughout the Charleston area along the Wando River, Cooper River, and Charleston Harbor that rely almost entirely on shared interstate and arterial roadways once freight leaves the port. And when you look at a map, most of those terminals are on the east corridor area as it relates to 526. Because of this critical role in the region's continued success, Charleston experiences one of the highest concentrations of freight truck traffic in the state. Thousands of freight trucks move daily through the same corridors relied upon by commuters, residents, and visitors. These freight trucks utilize I-526 and I-26 corridors with significant routing along the I-526 East corridor from Long Point Road, which I understand there's a little bit of a project that's going to help with that ingress and egress to Long Point Road, and that corridor to enter or exit I-26. This segment of highway broadly contains 2 travel lanes and under heavy freight volumes effectively functions as a single passenger lane for residents in each direction. When roadway capacity is insufficient or inconsistent, congestion becomes chronic, safety degrades, and freight efficiency also suffers, producing impacts that extend well beyond the region itself. I respectfully urge immediate consideration for attention to the following highway corridors, and I see my time is actually dwindling down, so I'll provide the written comments, and there's a few exhibits, and I'll just be brief to give 3 quick bullet points. I-526 East corridor from Long Point Road to I-26 being number 1, I-526, I-26 interchange. Specifically westbound, the interchange to I-26 going westbound is 1 lane for the junction, whereas when you're going eastbound from I-26 is 2 lanes. But actually, the direction where it's 1 lane is much more needed. That's where most of the freight traffic is going, and they have 1 lane to get on I-26. And the third area, of course, being I-26 simply from the Somerville area, specifically Nexon Parkway, to I-526. Most of that corridor is 3 lanes. There's a portion that does appear to be 4 lanes, but most of that corridor is 3 lanes. And I hope that it gets some consideration. I've enclosed conceptual exhibits for illustration discussion purposes, which may add some additional context from a visual format standpoint, which I'll deliver to the commission. I have 12 copies, and I hope that's enough. So I see my time is potentially a little bit over. I'll be available for any questions or any clarifications. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay, next item. Pursuant to Section 301 of the Commission bylaws, we'll hold our annual officer elections today. Section 301 directs the elections of the commission officers are held at the first meeting of the calendar year, and new officers will assume their duties upon adjournment of this meeting. As you're aware, the chairman will preside over the meeting of the commission, and the vice chair shall preside over the meetings of the commission in the absence of the chairman. The floor is now open for nominations for chairman.
Mr. Chair, I would like to nominate Max Metcalf as our chairman of the Board of Commissioners for 2026.
Are there any other nominations? If not, the nominations are hereby declared closed. Being that there's only one nominee, unless there's any objections, I declare Commissioner Metcalf to be elected by acclamation. All right, thank you, Commissioner Metcalf. Election of vice chair. Floor is now open for nomination for vice chair.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to nominate Bill Dukes as our 2026 vice chairman.
Since there's only one nomination for vice chair, we're going to announce that Vice Chair Dukes is renominated and by acclamation will be vice chair for the 2026 year. Congratulations. The next item for consideration is the Secretary of Transportation report.
Thank you, Chairman Johnson, and thank you to the commission. I want first just say, Chairman Johnson, it has been an absolute honor and pleasure to serve with you this past year. I truly came to appreciate your quiet counsel, your calm, and your willingness to pick up the phone anytime I needed. So I truly appreciated your leadership and your friendship during this past year. Incoming Chairman Metcalf, certainly, I know this is probably a full circle moment for you. I know that you were once late great Governor Carol Campbell staffer to the commission, so sitting in the audience like today, and now time on the Infrastructure Bank Board, and now chairman of the commission. So I look forward to working with you on a big year. And Commissioner Dukes, Vice Chairman, look forward to continuing working with you as Vice Chairman again. So I think we have a big year ahead of us, and I'm going to spend a little bit of time today talking about where we finished up in 2025, but I think we have an opportunity for an even bigger and greater year in 2026, and I'll talk a little bit about it. This past week, we kicked off our lead class for the year, so we have done a little restructuring of that program. Want to give a lot of credit to Deputy Secretary Perry and the entire leadership team for some of the thoughts about how we could strengthen that program for building up that next generation of leaders. And so I do want to appreciate Rontrell Tyler and Tanya Antonin in our HR department for their work. I think so past few months we've kind of retooled it, and I think we've got it. So we've got 5 folks standing in the traditional seat against the back wall for the lead classes. So I'll ask y'all to please stand when I ask y'all to stand up. We got Andrew Stokes from Traffic Engineering, Marla Watson from Pre-Construction, Brian Hodges from District 2, Archit Patel from our Intermodal Division, and Sean Buchanan, who I've always used to seeing in a hard hat and a vest from District 1 Construction, is our Lexington Construction Engineer. So thank y'all for taking this leadership journey and attending this meeting with the Commission. We will start the meeting with safety, as we always do, being the number one priority of the department. As of January 6th, we finished the year with 914 fatalities. That is 914 too many. And I will caveat that this number will adjust as final data comes into the Department of Public Safety. So it's not a final count. But I think what is abundantly clear, if you look at that chart, this is the lowest number of fatalities in South Carolina since 2017. You think about that, we have added approximately 500,000 people to South Carolina, and we brought that number down. Definitely a testament to the hard work that this commission has done, that the DOT team has done, and our traffic division in particular in terms of building safety into projects, doing safety projects that will do it, but also a testament to our partners in law enforcement at the Highway Patrol and local law enforcement in really taking a major trend and moving it in the right direction. So we will be likely celebrating this with our friends at Public Safety a little bit later in the year, but a major accomplishment, a recognition of the work we are doing is translating into lives saved on the ground. When you look at our vulnerable road user numbers, in total, we were down 7% for the year. This was largely due to a decrease in our moped and bicycle fatalities. We stayed about level with pedestrian fatalities across the state. I talk about it, and we've got some projects that are about to kick off that aim to come out of our outcome of our road safety audit. So we go through, walk with stakeholders, walk with local governments, go through those corridors. Just in the most recent letting we executed, we have the Wade Hampton project in Greenville is about to get underway, and Commissioner Metcalf's district, Ashley Phosphate, we just did a video of our public engagement of the construction and progress that's already happening up there. So you will continue to see us to do those targeted projects in those corridors where we know we have vulnerable road users getting affected, and to begin putting in the appropriate countermeasures to continue to bring those rates down. Our construction program got back up to $6.8 billion, just a shade under $7 billion. And that we will, major projects contributing that. The execution of the contract for the Lake Marion contract was a major part in that increase, and we will continue to let projects, particularly as we program those new dollars that the General Assembly appropriated for us last year. The funding for bridges that we got does not come available until February, so once we get available to that, we will start letting those projects and getting underway. Our construction program does follow your priorities in the 10-year plan. You will see basically the same values that we've had largely from the last meeting in interstate capacity and our pavements. We do have 2 more large pavement lettings to go this year in January and March that will get incorporated into these numbers. We also have 2 more major interstate projects that will happen in this calendar year. The award of the Long Point Road project on I-526 in Charleston assist with port traffic over there, and then letting the next phase of I-26 through Calhoun and Orangeburg counties. You will see our bridge numbers are up by $158 million from the last meeting that we had. Again, we are now getting those projects out the door from what we were received in the prior year from the General Assembly. So we are putting those dollars out and making a large number of projects happen across the state. In terms of our construction statistics, our on-time ratio just improved slightly from 16% to 15% from our last meeting. Our on-budget ratio went slightly up from 1.84 to 2.24%. However, what I remind you is that on every project, we have a minimum of a 3% contingency put in. So in terms of our total contingency value, we are operating within those values. There are some change orders that we have for us since our last meeting, and I'll quickly cover those. The first and largest one that you have before you is the acceleration of the completion of the I-26 and I-95 interchange project in Dorchester and Orangeburg counties. We worked with the contractor to identify an opportunity to accelerate that and to get the project done by December of this year. That will mean that we can have it operational before the major holiday travel season with people going from Ohio and New York through that interchange on their way to Florida. So that will help us improve that. It also allows us to end the inspection services contract early. So there'll be not completely, but offsetting cost savings on that. Your second one there were some utility issues that cropped up and work that we needed on the US 1 bridge over that project that resulted in a change order for some additional utility structures put in. Our next one here, next 3 change orders that we have from the last period. We've been doing a series of interstate improvement projects. One of the things we've got to do is adjust the cross slope to make sure that those interstates drain properly, effectively. This was something that was needed on I-95 on the preservation work we were doing there to replace the open grade friction course with the more sturdy SMA mix on that project. We did have some additional field conditions on Hurricane Helene repair or slope repairs that we needed with Reeves on the Gap Creek Road project. We would anticipate change orders on emergency contracts. We were moving very quickly to get contractors in place, moving and getting underway so we could get those repairs done. And then similar to the questions that we got last meeting, on-call cable barrier repair, we basically, as we talk about, we project the number of strikes that occur. Those can vary up and down. There was an additional increase that we saw through the construction period of $400,000 that we needed to do. I am pleased to report that there are no emergency procurements this month since the last meeting, so you will not see that here. Moving into our 10-year plan accomplishments, our big 4. We have put out 3 additional miles of railroad safety projects, 250 more miles of paving projects, 10 more bridges went under construction. In total, 128 miles worth of interstate construction work happening across the state. Our rural road safety programs, you can see, we had initially went out the door saying we would get 1,000 miles underway. We upped that prior 10-year plan revision to 1,200, and then after the General Assembly provided us some additional money in fiscal '25, we upped our target to 1,300 miles, already have 1,212 miles, so well on track by the end of the 10-year plan horizon to meet those goals. But I wanted to point out, we have in prior meetings said we have had a 20% reduction in fatal and serious injury crashes on those corridors, kind of before and after we've come in. Our traffic engineering team came in and redid the analysis based on projects that had been completed basically in the same horizon. We try to look 3 years before, 3 years after. That number has changed. It's a 30% reduction in fatal and serious injury crashes. And in terms of road departure crashes, which are the effort that we're trying to cure through the mitigations that we're putting on, we've seen a 54% reduction. So we know that we have engineered safety into those corridors more than we've had before. In terms of our bridge program, as I mentioned, we had 10 more bridges that got put under contract this time. 4 bridges were completed and open to traffic since the last meeting, and we've kicked off design on 5 more projects. So continuing to move projects quickly through the pipeline. One thing that I will highlight, and I want to give a lot of credit to John Bolston and Deputy Secretary Perry and our engineering team and Chris Lacey for going through, and we just updated our low-volume bridge design standards. And so what that means is we took a common sense look at what kind of elevations were needed, what kind of work were needed to some of these low-volume bridges where instead of maybe replacing a 40-foot bridge with a 200-foot bridge, as we had in the kind of standards of the past, come back with, if we know the bridge isn't overtopping historically, that we need to go back with maybe a similar size span to what was already there. My hope, and I believe is our hope, is that this will not only speed up projects so we can cut back on the environmental permitting time in terms of wetland permits that might be needed. It certainly will reduce the time needed for right-of-way acquisition that is needed, and hopefully allow us, by having bridges of smaller size being put in, we can do more bridges more quickly within the dollars that we have allowed. So a real testament. I do want to thank Deputy Secretary Perry and his team for their leadership in getting this across the line. Our interstate program, not much change that has occurred since our last meeting in terms of just the sheer size of those programs. But what I would say is that the next 2 projects ready to move towards the construction phase are going to be the I-26 136 to 145 project, as well as awarding the Long Point Road project in the Charleston area, Mount Pleasant, as part of our overall 526 program that we have that's being led by Kit Scott and our team, and that y'all got a brief on at your last commission meeting, or when we had our commission meeting down in Mount Pleasant earlier this year. Continue work on that. Construction is getting well underway on I-95 at the Georgia border. One thing that we will be kicking off, kind of a lesson learned we have from the I-85 project, is that we will be deploying SHEP resources and having SHEP trucks, our Blue Motorist Assistance trucks. Such a high volume area. It's an area where we get a lot of crashes anyways before that, to help keep traffic moving as best as possible during that extended construction period for this project. Our new gas tax fund, since passage of the General Assembly's Act 40, there have been $5.5 billion generated for projects. Just under $5.3 billion have been available to us to do projects. We have committed over $5.8 billion of that to projects. So all of the cash that we have on hand has been committed towards projects. So we are not letting dollars be idle. I do want to let y'all, just one thing I do want to point the commission's eye to. You'll see we have a line item here for Hurricane Helene expenses of $163 million. This is where we were floating the cost for non-federal aid eligible bridge and road repairs during the storm, but it was also our debris cleanup bill. It has been almost 18 months since that storm affected the upstate and the Midlands of South Carolina. Our General Assembly did appropriate the matching dollars for us for the federal matching, about $35 million in this past budget, and we'll get get access to that next month. It has been slow on our FEMA reimbursements. And so while we have been definitely seeing funds coming in from federal highways for their share of the cost, we have not seen any money from FEMA right now. And I know that's something that we are working closely with the governor's office as well as our congressional delegation about trying to get that resolved. In terms of surplus properties, you will see what has been donated here or sold or donated to local governments, 12 parcels, again, mostly to government entities. When Deputy Secretary McCotry goes through the roads additions, deletions, we had a number of road sections that locals are taking back as part of ownership to them, and he'll go through that with y'all as well. In terms of accomplishments, I highlighted at our last meeting our Adopt a Family program. I just want to highlight the generosity of the DOT family, helping other DOT families. Over 30 families helped. $10,000 were raised, 395 presents. And so because of the generosity, we're actually, the SC Cares was actually able to provide a Visa gift card and a bag of household necessities in addition to the wish list of that. I know the commission adopted a family, and just thank y'all for your support of this program and for making it happening. In terms of I-26, we did hit a milestone earlier in terms of the widening down in Calhoun and Orangeburg counties of getting the environmental assessment completed that has been published. There was a fairly well-attended public meeting in Orangeburg last week about the project, and we will continue to get us one step closer to getting between Columbia and Charleston widened to at least 6 lanes in each direction. We obviously delayed our meeting for an hour today than our normal 9 o'clock time. I hope you enjoyed your time to sleep in maybe a little bit than you normally did, but the General Assembly came back on Tuesday. And so all the bills that were introduced last year that had not been signed by the governor are still up for consideration by the General Assembly. I would say the things that we have been hearing and been said by both the majority caucuses in both the House and the Senate. You'll see transportation is a topic of discussion in both chambers. Tax cuts, regulation reductions like the ones that we have proposed, the 30% reduction in our regulations. Changes to how judges are elected, elimination of DBE and DEI mandates, and other social-related type items are on there. I think the other big thing that we are hearing, and I don't know what it will translate into legislation or not this year, that there's a lot of discussion about the growth of the state. Certainly something that we have been talking about in terms of our modernization process, but definitely out there. Obviously, we are in an election year, so there will be a new governor come this time next year, as well as re-election of all of our constitutional officers and all 124 House members. We are tracking 150 bills. There were 235 pre-filed bills. Really not much that of substance to the department but we're tracking. There were 1 or 2 that we're tracking for the department. This slide is probably a little bit dated as of this morning when we published it to y'all, but the Modernization Committee met on Tuesday and then met at 9 o'clock. I believe they have already adjourned because they were going into session at 10. I'm looking at those that were in the meeting with me at 9 o'clock beforehand, make sure I have that right. They have put out a draft piece of legislation on Tuesday that was refined. What I would say is there were areas of interest to the DOT that we've talked about, obtaining NEPA assignment, changes to modernizing the state's toll statute, new procurement tools. All of those items, I think, are going to be in the text that we've talked about with them. They have talked about other things, and I know I've shared that with the commission. What I would say is that this is the formal bill will likely be introduced soon. I would anticipate in the next week or so, and move through. It will move through, what we understand will move through the Ways and Means Committee. So there's still a long ways to go in the process in terms of it still has to go through the formal House committee process. and then onto the floor, and then we will see what the Senate does as well on that. With that, Mr. Chairman, I'm happy to answer any questions commissioners might have.
Any questions for Secretary Paul?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
On the bridges in the state, they're obviously the ones the state's responsible for, but in terms of the thousands that are out there, there's a lot of local roads with bridge. Are we responsible for those bridges, or the counties have their own bridge programs?
So what we do is there are 9,500 publicly owned bridges in the state. We own 8,400 of them. So we own the majority, overwhelming majority. There are about 1,000 that are owned by locals. We do the bridge inspections for them as part of our overall process and responsibilities. But what we do is we provide that inspection to them, and it is their responsibility to handle determination of closure, posting, as well as the repair and all of those matters. So certainly the same type of bridges we have a lot of challenges with in the upstate in terms of the timber piles and the concrete slabs. There are a lot of local bridges in the upstate that are exactly the same design.
So when they're finished doing a replacement or bringing it back, they report back to the department that those have been resolved.
We would
Re-inspect it.
Go ahead, Secretary.
Yes, federal highways requires the state to inspect all the public bridges, and so we provide those reports. Sometimes the friction is when we say you've got to close or load restrict a local bridge. It's not really ours, but we were required to do that. And then if one gets repaired or replaced, and we'll go out and we'll conduct a follow-up inspection, and we'll either lift the posting or open it back up for them as far as the signing. But we try and force the locals to put the signing up themselves. In some instances, if they won't do it, then Federal Highways will require us to do it, and we will do it for the safety of the motor public. And I also want to thank Federal Highways for their assistance on the update to the bridge design, the low-impact bridge design criteria, because they've been great partners with us.
Okay.
Mr. Secretary, would you just, this may have been mentioned before, I don't remember, but on the I-26-95 upgrade, interchange upgrade acceleration, was that, how did that come about? I mean, what was the?
So certainly we had a discussion with the contractor about opportunities where we could accelerate that project, because we hear from time to time about how we can move things forward. So we asked them what would be needed to move it forward. If I remind, and I've kind of shared with the commission previously, this has been funded with American Rescue Plan dollars. And while we are almost fully completed in consuming all of our American Rescue Plan dollars on that project, this does position the state. There may be some state agencies that don't consume all of their dollars, and so this would position us to have a project ready to consume additional dollars to make sure the state doesn't send money back to Washington.
Which makes total sense, but the contractors explain the logic again about the added cost?
We are asking them to, they make resource decisions in terms of how many personnel they're assigning to a project. And so when we ask them to accelerate, that means we are asking them to pull off other jobs or add shifts. And so that is part of the cost implication to that in terms of when they built and bid on the project based on the schedule we had provided and when they made their proposal to us.
Fair enough.
Any other question?
Another question.
All right.
And I don't know, Secretary or Deputy Secretary McCautry, and the DBE program that we've had, have we been able to keep all those people that were working for us, working, or have they been able to be absorbed into other departments? I just was wondering if we've had any loss from that.
Okay. In terms of our staff in-house, we have, following kind of that internal audit that our internal audit division completed, we did a restructuring to improve the internal controls of that. And so personnel are either within Deputy Secretary McCautry's purview as the kind of the restructured DBE office there. The civil rights compliance that we have when we do projects, that actually got moved over into our Human Resources Division, where we have the civil rights compliance for personnel matters, so we did that. And then the construction division has taken on the field inspection. So we have, everybody has been retained on our team with that. Again, we will work through that in terms of anything like that. Obviously, there's a lot of change going on with that program right now. The U.S. Department of Transportation Secretary Duffy issued a rule that required us to remove the consideration of race and sex in those plans. Governor McMaster followed up last month as well with an executive order. We received guidance that came down in October. In early December, we received, I think, enough clarifying guidance for us to proceed with knowing what we had to do to start recertification. We've been working very hard. Deputy Secretaries Perry and McCotry, Ted Kitowitz, our new engineering support manager, our support special projects manager, I think is the official title, have kind of worked through along with our DBE office and construction office about how we can move forward, because it's a pretty radical change from what we've had previously. We anticipate late winter, early spring being able to have that recertification process, but I think there's still a lot of unanswered questions that we're going to have to wait for the US DOT to answer and put down to us in terms of how you set goals, how you manage that program going forward. But we're moving diligently, and we're moving, but with, I think, appropriate speed. When I talk with my counterparts in other states, what I would say is that the overwhelming majority of states are kind of in a similar position. Some states have started recertification, and I think we'll be on that front end. But again, there's still a lot of questions left to be answered about how we manage it as in a new format has been put out by Washington.
Good. I'm glad to hear that, because I know we're a very focused but nimble organization, and when you have to move things into other departments, I'm glad we were able to look at that and absorb them into those other departments. So thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Secretary, I'd like to acknowledge the staff and the department for the improvement of the work on time as 1%. I think that's fantastic. And also that we're keeping our costs within the 3% margin of error. Just so we can further understand the penalties assessed portion of that, I think it'd be helpful if we could see maybe a list of projects that are behind schedule and where the penalties are being assessed. That'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, we can come up with a summary of where the liquidated damages are occurring.
Great.
We'll look at something that can be presentable on the screen instead of a John spreadsheet, but we'll figure out something for you.
Any other questions? Thank you,
Mr.
Secretary.
Chairman, one comment. Concerning the Transportation Modernization Ad Hoc Committee and all the proceedings that we went through, all this 8, 9 months maybe, I think there are a lot of good came out of that, and I commend that committee, the legislative group, for putting it on, and they put in a lot of work, and our DOT and our secretary put in a lot of work, and he was well prepared. Our whole group was well prepared to make presentations all over the state, and so I think a lot of issues were disclosed, and we're going to move forward and do good things for the state. Thank you for your hard work.
Great.
The next item on the agenda is item 10. We'll start with item 10.1, revisions to the 2024 to 2033 STIP. We'll ask Deputy Secretary Naco to present on this item.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am requesting commission approval for the revision of the 2024 to 2033 STIP. Prior to discussing each request, you may have noticed that I'm talking longer than I was previously. When I present items, this is due to ensuring a full transparency for the transportation portion, the transit portion of the STIP, by ensuring that we're including federal, state, and local funding as applicable. With that, I'll get started. So item A is for the inclusion of one project in the GSAT's MPO region. This item uses FTA Large Urban Enhanced Mobilities for Seniors and Individuals with Disabilities formula funding that is allocated directly to the MPO. GSATS has allocated funds anticipated in the amount of $1 million per year for FY26 all the way through FY 2033. Item B is for inclusion of one project in the Waccamaw-Cog region for the Georgetown County to operate the Sandy Island Ferry Service. SCDOT provides $80,000 annually of state mass transit funds per year, and Georgetown County provides $20,000 in local match per year. Waccamaw COG has allocated the state and local funds for fiscal year 25 through fiscal year 2030. Item C is for inclusion of one project in the LATS MPO region for Beaufort County's fiscal year 26 local match to operate the Defusky Island ferry service. Item D is for inclusion of 3 projects in the LATS MPO region for the Low Country RTA program. All of these items use FTA small urban funding formula funds that are apportioned for the Bluffton-Hilton Head area. LRTA will use the funds for operations and capital. LATS has allocated the federal, state, and local funds for fiscal year 26 and the federal funds through FY 2033. Item E is for inclusion of 3 projects in the LATS MPO region for the Low Country RTA program as well. All of these items use that FTA small urban formula funds, but they're apportioned for the Beaufort Port Rural area. LRTA will use the funds for operations and capital, and once again, they have allocated the federal and local funds for fiscal year 2026 and the federal funds through fiscal year 2033. Item F is for inclusion of 3 projects in the Waccamaw COG region for the Waccamaw RTA program. All of these items show FTA rural transit funding that is formula funding, and it is allocated to SCDOT, and then we sub-allocate it to the transit agencies. The allocated state mass transit funds and the local funds are also shown. Waccamaw RTA will use the funding for administrative, operations, and capital purchases. Waccamaw COG has allocated all 3, the federal, state, and local funds for fiscal year 25 through fiscal year 2033. Item G is for inclusion of 3 projects in the Waccamaw COG region for the Williamsburg County Transit Program. All of these items show FTA Rural Transit formula funding that is once again allocated to SCDOT, and then we sub-allocated to those transit agencies. They're also showing the allocated state mass transit funds and the local funds. Williamsburg County will use the funding for administration, operations, and capital purchases. They have also allocated the federal, state, and local funds for FY 25 through FY 2030. And finally, item H is for inclusion of 1 project in the SUATS MPO region for the Santee Watery RTA program. This item uses the FTA small urban funds that are allocated for that Sumter area, and Santee Watery will use the funds for operations. Happy to take any questions.
Does anyone have any questions for Deputy Secretary Necker? Thank you, Deputy Secretary. Is there a motion to approve item 10.1? Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Hearing no opposition, item 10.1, revision to the 2024 to 2033 STIP for transportation and related matters is approved. The next item up is item 10.2, changes to the statewide transportation system. Highway portion, Deputy Secretary McCutcheon will present on this item.
Good morning.
Morning.
Item 10.2, changes to the state highway system. Request commission approval for the addition, deletion, and revision to the state highway system as shown on the attached pages, and the authority to convey the right-of-way to the appropriate entities. This request includes 3 segments of the primary road system, resulting in a reduction of 2.960 centerline miles, equating to 5.920 lane miles, and includes 34 segments of the secondary road system, resulting in a reduction of 0.451 centerline miles, equating to 1.672 lane miles. Special note, the town of Kiowa Island is requesting the partial road removal of Betsy Kearson Parkway, and they will accept maintenance responsibility for this partial road removal. It qualifies under law, South Carolina Code 57-3-80, that allows SCDOT to transfer roads from the secondary system to other entities. This ends my request for approval.
Anyone have any questions about or revisions to item 10.2? If not, is there a motion to approve item 10.2, changes to statewide highway system and the highway portion?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Hearing no opposition, item 10.2, changes to the statewide highway system, highway portion is approved. Thank you, Deputy McCarthy. Okay, the next item is 10.3, changes to the statewide highway system for bridges. Deputy Secretary Perry will present on 10.3.
First off, congratulations, Chairman, on a great year last year. Managed things was Vice Chairman, and congratulations to the new Chairman and Commissioner Duke Stanton as Vice Chairman. And I'm glad that Secretary Powell got back by 10. It would be kind of weird if I was sitting up there and he kicked me out of his chair. So thank you for that. Obviously, you guys have approved Bridge List the last 2 summers, consistent with your actions to approve all the way back to 2021, and then the last 2 summers. The first thing we do is when we close a bridge, as DOT staff, we look and say, can we keep it closed or move it from our system? A lot of times we can't. It's vital for connectivity to a community or connectivity to a police station or fire station, but we go through that process and we work with the local government. So the reason why I'm before you with 10.3 is we worked with Spartanburg County on this one, which is got an ADT of 1,000 and 0.11 miles is a detour length that should be included in your agenda. And Spartanburg County has said that they're okay if we remove this bridge from our system, which is consistent with the action that the commission approved, again, multiple times. So pending any questions, I'd respectfully request approval to remove this bridge from our system, and that'll be one less bridge for us to have to worry about.
So moved.
Second.
Oh, moving right along. Got a motion in a second. Are there any questions? All those in favor of, all those in favor of approving item 10.3, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. Hearing no opposition, item 10.3, changes to the statewide highway system for bridges is approved.
Thank you, sir.
Next item up is item 10.4, ratification of extensions. Deputy Secretary for Engineer Rob Perry will present this item.
Thank you, Chairman. So since we last met, we've had 5 extensions totaling $4.1 million. They're included in page 79 of your agenda. There are a couple to note. The first one, which is the resurfacing on S234. When we were wrapping up I-85, there were some roads that were off of the interstate that got torn up by detour traffic that were trying to get around incidents. And so when we went through and looked at it, we realized we really need to restore that to a good state of repair because it got torn up. So that's the big one. That's the $1 million one, the first one. The other ones are CTC funded, have to do with payments. And then the last one has to do with Carolina Crossroads. As you know, within phase 3B, we're actually moving utilities, we're clearing, we're trying to move out the frontage road. So we've got essentially a clean slate for our contractor to get in there and really do the work and not have anything inhibit them. Once we started doing the clearing, we found there was one contiguous parcel that we had missed. So we're just going to add that to the projects. We get that cleared. So again, we're trying to make it where we've got max production when that contractor gets going. So pending any questions, I respectfully request consideration to approve the 5 extensions.
Does anybody have any questions about item 10.4, ratification of extensions? Is there a motion to approve item 10.4?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Hearing no opposition, item 10.4, ratification of extensions is approved. Thank you, Deputy Perry. Next item is old business. Is there any old business to take up?
Mr. Chairman, we have no old business for consideration.
Okay, thank you. The next item up is commissioner comments. We'll start with Vice Chair Dukes.
Well, thank you very much. First of all, I just hope that everyone had a blessed holiday season and that we're looking forward to an exciting 2026. I travel on 26 pretty frequently, and I would like to just thank everyone involved with that project, because that project has generated just a tremendous amount of excitement up in the Chapin area and those folks that drive through. But the one thing that I kept hearing was, why is it new but so rough? And I will tell you that now, and I'll confirm it from this morning, it is smooth driving coming in on all lanes. And so thanks to everyone for that effort. And I appreciate, the confidence that you folks gave me, and I look forward to serving as vice chair. Thank you very much.
I'm going to change the order up and give our new guys an opportunity that complained the last time to speak. Commissioner Hemingway?
Well, I just can't overstate the appreciation that I've gained since I've been on here for a relatively short time for the staff and the response that they do and make to any type of issues and type of requests that I have, and the response time has been excellent, and it just continues. We just keep singing their praises each and every meeting, but it's heavily warranted. But to you, Mr. Chairman, in your capacity and service, I just thank you for your leadership. You and I have been involved in many commissions and committees and in various service together, and you have always proved worthy of leadership, and I just thank you for your endeavors in this service of this commission as well.
Let's go with Commissioner Rhodes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It has been an honor to serve on this commission. It's been, I echo my colleagues' comments about the staff. It's an amazing professional staff that really cares about the work they do, but more importantly about who the end user is, and that's the citizens of the state. So it's great to see. It's great to be a very, very, very small part of that, and to try to give you all the tools you need to be successful for the people of South Carolina. Mr. Chairman, I want to thank you for your service. You were the first person to call me when I got appointed. A lot of people were like, who's that? When the governor sent my name up to put me on the commission, but you called and welcomed me to the group and have really been a calm, steady hand at the helm during my first service on the DOT commission. So I want to just acknowledge you and congratulate you for a job well done.
Commissioner Christopher.
You sure you don't want to get the others first? No, seriously. So Chairman Johnson, I want to thank you for your exemplary leadership you provided all of us. I've been honored to serve under your leadership. I appreciate your dedication, your passion, and your service to the state we all love. Thank you very much. You've done great. Max Metcalf, I have long admired your dedication to our state and leadership. I look forward to serving under your leadership and the thoughtful, committed service to our state that you will continue to provide. And I'm assured that you'll do a tremendous job, my friend. So thank you. Vice Chairman Dukes, I'm excited that you're going to be staying on as our vice chairman. I know with yours and Mac's leadership, we are poised to do great things, and the commission is in great hands. And congratulations on yours and Mac's appointment to chair and vice chair. Appreciate your service to us. To the lead class, congratulations, and thank you all for taking that next step of leadership. That shows your commitment to SCDOT, and we're just excited to see that, so thank y'all for what you do. The last thing I'm going to say is, Mr. Rhodes, it is really nice to meet you before our meeting and to see you in attendance here today. You know, I don't think any of us have the opportunity and the pleasure to have our parents be at the age that they could be here. It says a lot about the dedication your son has. I have seen what he's done, the way he was able to pull the South Carolina Chamber and the Manufacturers Association and lead on this commission. He does tremendous service, and you can tell he's very passionate and dedicated to our state, as we all are up here. But you know what? That leadership and that passion that he has comes from his parents. So it's a big tribute to you, too, and it was very nice to meet you, and I'm glad that you were able to be here to support your son today. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chair, thank you, Commissioner. Mr. Chair, may I did want to acknowledge my dad being here. Thank you, Commissioner, for acknowledging him. It is special to have a parent in the audience. Thanks, Dad.
Commissioner Spencer.
Yeah, greetings. Concerning what was said about Chairman Max Metcalf, I'll duplicate everything that Pamela said. That was very good. We look forward to working under you, and we're working together, and thank you very much for accepting the position. Chairman Johnson, calm and steady hand. That's so true. Not real talkative, but whenever you talk, we listen. And you've done a great job this year, and thank you for your strong leadership and good leadership. And so we're gonna have a great year. And Mr. Rhodes, hello there, and good to have you in the audience. And Mr. Taylor, Kyle Taylor, you still out there? I'd like to say one thing to you when we finish, please. Easy, okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Blackwell.
Well, once again, last, but I
Save
can't.
best for last.
No, okay. But so I'll be. It's nice to meet the legend. I've heard a lot about you. So. Oh, okay. Hopefully, most of it was good. But I do want to thank TJ for his calm, dedicated. That's already been said, obviously, but for the calm, dedicated service as chairman, and Bill for your service. Secretary, while I'm at it, for all your headaches you have to put up with and how calmly you deal with everything. And I look forward to 2026 and working with Max as chairman. I'm sure he'll do a fantastic job, and Bill, same for you.
Okay, thank you. Last but not least, incoming chairman, Commissioner Max.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. And I don't think enough can be said about how you have chaired this commission over the last year. Excited that you remain on the commission. This doesn't mean you get to walk away from everything, by the way. None of us do, although a few of us are up for reappointment consideration next week, so I might be the shortest-lived chairman in the history of DOT. Who knows? But the confidence that you've given all of us, along with the agency, with the secretary, you know, it's really great and greatly appreciated. To the staff, continue. It's the best DOT in the U.S. And we get to show that off in August of this year with SASTO. I'm really excited about that and would expect all commissioners to participate when we get to that date. I do want to say, I'm glad to know Thomas Rhodes does have adult leadership, and that it's here today. No, I'm a great admirer of everybody on this commission, so it's a deep honor for me to serve in this new role. I think some of you know that I kind of was born and raised going to highway construction projects because my father sold vibratory rollers, and so I feel like there's asphalt in my blood. So just knowing the great work and all the success that this agency is having now, and the 4,000 plus people, plus the other services beyond just the agency that are involved in our roads and bridges. I will say one thing I do want to emphasize in the year ahead, and that's safety. I had an opportunity of working in the Governor's Office of Highway Safety as one of my first jobs under Governor Campbell. And I was amazed at, I was 20-something years old, couldn't believe the fatality rate in this small state. And so seeing the numbers drop, I still agree, like you said, it's 914 too many. that is something I want everybody to really focus on. Commissioners, when you're talking to people publicly, when you're talking to legislators and all, this is another thing we really need to emphasize. The public's got to understand the safety messages coming through construction areas, heavy pedestrian areas, and bicycles, mopeds, and all with that. So let's really clamp down on that this year if we can. And again, Mr. Chairman, been great working with you. Look forward to working with Commissioner Dukes, Vice Chair, and the year ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you. As my last meeting as chair, I'd just like to pass along a few thoughts. First off, thank the team for their support and the jobs that you do. It does not and did not go unrecognized. And also, I'd like to thank the rest of the commission for their support and encouragement as we went along and did what we had to do. The leadership, senior leadership of the department is probably as good as it gets in the country, and we acknowledge and appreciate that. Each and every time you'll hear me speak, more times than not, about the professionalism and the dedication to job. That is not something that's taken lightly and not something that's not heartfelt. So thank you guys again, and ladies. It has been my pleasure to give you all I had last year, and I'm looking forward to the incoming leadership and the Chairman Metcalf, Vice Chairman Dukes again. And again, thank you guys for being willing to step up, and I look forward to serving with everybody. Thank you. One of the final deeds of my tenure is to pass the gavel, and I'll ask Commissioner Metcalf to come up. I have a personal reward that I want to give to him, and I'll let him use his imagination for the symbolism of it. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. And it hasn't been used, so thank you very much. I appreciate that.
With that said, the next item on the agenda is the executive session. There are two separate executive sessions that will be discussed, two items that will be discussed in the executive session. It's going to be held pursuant to South Carolina Code 30-4-70A3 to discuss legal advice pertaining to a potential claim, and item 13.2 will be held pursuant to South Carolina Code 30-4-70A3 regarding contractual agreements. Is there a motion to go into executive session for items 13.1 and 13.2?
So moved.
Is there a second? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Hearing no opposition, the commission will now go into executive session for items 13.1 and 13.2. I ask that all SCDOT commissioners and the following personnel stay in the auditorium: Secretary Powell, Chief of Staff Hutto, Deputy Secretary McCautry, Deputy Secretary Perry, Chief Counsel Barbara Wessinger, Chief Administrative Officer Maggie Hendry, Deputy Secretary Necker, Deputy Mark LaBrie, Internal Audit Manager Justina Heath, and Internal State Auditor Sue Moss. All other personnel should leave or step outside of the room. Is the recorder off? Is the recorder back on?
Oh, okay.
Motion to end the executive session for the purpose of receiving legal advice related to a potential claim.
So moved.
Motion, second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Hearing no opposition, it will now end the executive session for receiving legal advice of the potential claim. Now back in open session. No votes were taken during executive session. Nor did any commissioners commit itself to a course of action. The next meeting is going to be held on March 26th in Columbia. Now is there a motion to adjourn the commission meeting?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Hearing no opposition, the meeting of January 15th, 2026 is adjourned at 12 o'clock p.m. Thank you all for attending, and it's been a wonderful year.